Welcome back. You're still watching Business Incorporated on Channels Television now. The e-Naira, the digital currency issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria, has had 694,000 downloads in the 95 days since it was launched. E-Naira also recorded less than 10% in peer-to-peer transactions, while the person-to-bank and bank-to-person constitute 90% e-Naira transactions. Well, these figures, what do they mean? Do they mean deepening of financial inclusion, or are they just mere downloads? We have Senator in here. He's a fintech lawyer now to share his thoughts on this. Hello, Senator. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Great to be here.
Good to have you. So 694,000 downloads. What is this? Are they just downloads? Are they effective? Or they're just people trying to see if they can actually download the e-Naira to their phones?
All right, interesting data, interesting figures. And let's have in mind that we've had those figures within the last 100 days, right? And so is that good enough from the central bank, considering that this is a national currency? Let's look at the details of all that 700,000 or so downloads. So far, from the financial inclusion angle, it looks like these are just figures, because as far as financial inclusion is concerned, it looks to me like all of these figures are basically by those who are already financially included. Now that's quite ironical. Now, amongst the 700,000 downloads, we've had up to say about 136,000 of them being iPhone users. Now, if you use an iPhone, of course, it should be assumed that you're already banked. Now, the other 560,000 or so are Android users. Now, if you use Android in Nigeria, it means that you're a smartphone user. It could be assumed that you should already have access to banking facilities through the traditional Naira and not the e-Naira. Now, it's pretty also interesting that if you look at those figures closely, about just a little over 30% was provided by a particular bank. Now, that means that people who already exist in a particular bank as customers were those who accessed or downloaded the e-Naira, all right? Now, that's on the retail side. If you look at the merchant side, we have just about 22% or so. And then if you look at this whole thing, I think that we are not hitting the nail yet on the head. Why? Because this was about financial inclusion. When you speak of financial inclusion, we talk about access by individuals and businesses to financial banking services, such as loans, such as savings, equity, insurance. We are yet to see that. Now, if we talk about financial inclusion, we should be focusing on those who are not already banked. If we were relying on figures from those who are already in the banking system, I do not think that it helps us to realize the goal of financial inclusion through the e-Naira, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I guess the fact that the report also shows that person to bank and bank to person constitutes 90%. That's the bulk of the downloads, I mean, and the transaction. That shows that it's already those who have already been captured, that are actually, and then the peer-to-peer is just 10%. So what can we say we are missing? What are we not doing to, get fresh hands and fresh minds into the space? What are we missing out?
All right, so we should be targeting those who are not having any access to the banking or financial services, right? Now, how do we do that? We need to look at those in the rural areas, those who don't have smartphones, those who don't have bank accounts. And these are guys that usually typically use just a phone without they don't use a smartphone, but perhaps some of them use USSD. Now, the central bank in its paper on the e-naira has said that they are coming with the e-naira USSD facility. That hasn't dropped yet. When that drops, we expect that we should see more people being covered as far as e-naira and financial inclusion is concerned. But again, if we consider that we already have banks and other financial institutions who use USSD code, who provide USSD code to enable people who don't have smartphones and all or internet to access some basic banking and financial services, it then again raises the bar further that the e-naira may not be able to achieve its goal by just enabling USSD code facility alone. We need to now, if you ask me, this is my suggestion. I think that we need to really focus on the relative ability of the blockchain to enable transactions without any initial KYC and all of that. Now, how do I mean? I think that a lot more people can be captured if we are able to enable, able to just two things. One, we need to rely on the relative ability of the blockchain to enable peer-to-peer transactions. Two, I think that we got some things wrong from the beginning, and I'll take us back, right, a little bit. Now, when it comes to policy making, when it comes to innovations like this, especially when you talk about the currency, which is a very sensitive issue, it has to do a lot with trust. The trust that people place in the system, in the process, matters a lot. I think that while the CBN has said that they've started researching CBDC, central bank digital currencies, as far back as 2017, I think that the central bank may have lost the opportunity of having early and wide engagements with all stakeholders, including the ordinary Nigerian on the streets, who should already have known about the e-naira before it was even introduced.
Before it was launched. All right, Senator.
So that's what I think we are missing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we have to take it there because we have some other stories just before we go. Thank you so much, Senator, however, for sharing your thoughts with us. And we do hope that it's not too late, you know, to broaden that conversation and get more people into the bracket that we're actually looking for. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.